All right, guys, so apparently a lot of the issues that we've been having with the starter clicking and the battery going dead and all this kind of stuff all stems back to this alternator. So apparently there's nothing wrong with the alternator, but on these L83, L86, LT1 swaps, this alternator is pulse width modulated, and it's controlled, I guess, by the BCM, by the body control module. So when you do a swap like ours and we don't have a body control module, the alternator still will kind of put out some voltage, like 13.6 volts every now and again, which I kind of see under wide open throttle. But for the most part, it's just hanging out, around 12 volts. So not enough to keep the battery charged. And so that's kind of what we saw last week. After some driving, the car ended up stalling out, and then I couldn't, it would crank, but it would never fire. So it was like the computer didn't have enough juice to get the fuel injection going, right? And then it took me about 2 days to get the battery charged back up on the battery tender. And so all this is starting to make sense. And what happened was last night I was kind of cruising around online, and I found an article from couple different places actually once I started digging into it, but basically it was from a harness manufacturer, and that's what they said was, hey, there's basically two ways to kind of fix this, especially if you're running like your electric fans on all the time. It's not going to be enough to kind of keep your battery charged. So you need to either pull this off, take it to a local alternator kind of rebuilder shop like that specializes in alternator rebuilds, and they can convert this thing to a one-wire self-exciting alternator is what they call it, so that basically it'll function just like an old school setup where as soon as you start the car and it's running, this thing will be putting out about 14.5 volts all the time, which will be enough to keep everything charged up. So that's the route that I think I'm going to go. I did find a local place here in Wixom that does that. I'm going to pull this off right now and take it there. Now, the other option, if you're interested, is I guess you can just put in a 470 ohm half watt resistor into the L terminal of the alternator, and that should kind of trick it into thinking that it's getting the right signal from the computer to give it kind of that full voltage. So I thought about both options. Now, some of the guys were saying usually you can get, maybe 30 to 50 bucks, just get it swapped over. So, and then the harness, like the little, I think Holly makes a little setup to kind of put in line or whatever. That was about the same price. But for the sake of getting this done as quick as I can, when I talked to the local rebuilder, he told me he could probably have this done by tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop this thing off. It's really, really quick. I've already done it twice now. And take it up there, and hopefully we'll see what happens, right? And hopefully it's not too much money. But if that's all it is, that's going to be fantastic. I do already have a starter on order from Amazon. I think that'll be here tomorrow. But I don't think we need it. I think at this point, the issues we've been having, the reason why, like, I'll get, say, 10 starts out of it, right, where it starts fine and then all of a sudden it starts clicking, is that battery's just never staying topped off, and it's just getting ran down until finally it doesn't have enough juice to actually push the starter, and we get clicking, all those kinds of problems that we've been chasing. So kind of good to know. And I can't believe that after, a year of doing this engine swap, I never really heard about this issue until now. I mean, that's a pretty key thing to know. So if you guys are doing the same kind of swap into a hot rod, into some kind of aftermarket application, definitely make sure you look into either getting the resistor for the alternator or doing what we're going to try to do and get it switched over to a one wire. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this off. You guys have seen me do this already a couple times. So we'll get that off, and I'll come back probably tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have the new alternator, and we'll get it bolted back on and see what the results are and see if that fixes our issue. All right, so we are on our way over to Hans Auto Electrical here in Wixom, Michigan, and hopefully these guys are going to be able to help us out to get this alternator rebuilt, and hopefully it won't cost an arm and a leg, but we will see. All right, boys, here we are, Hans Auto Electric. Let's go see what they can do for us. All right, so I just got done dropping off the alternator. Marty and his team, they think that should be no big deal. He's got to get the cover off and have a look at it, but he's hoping he'll get to it tomorrow. And, hopefully he doesn't have to, order a regulator or anything like that. Sounds like he's got most of the stuff in stock, he thinks. So hopefully, fingers crossed, is the first one that he's done of an LT, but he said they do tons of LS ones and, for a lot of other applications that have the same pulse width modulated alternator. So hopefully it's no big deal. And, man, if we could get this thing back, tomorrow or even the next day, that'd be awesome. I mean, that's faster than trying to order up a new, a new resistor connector thing. That'd probably take just a couple days alone. So let's see what happens. Hopefully this works out. All right, so we just had some awesome news that our alternator is all finished, and I'm on my way right now to go pick it up, and then we're gonna get it bolted on. Check this thing out. It's kind of weird looking. So yeah, I didn't kind of realize this is the new regulator. So originally, the regulator is kind of tucked back in here with the connector. So they've soldered on, they've kind of went in here into the connection, soldered on this new thing, and then they've got this new regulator bolted here. So that's pretty much how it'll sit in the car. Now, instead of having to hook up the stock connector plus the battery cable, we only hook up the battery cable, and then this alternator will be putting out, I don't know, around 14.5 volts at all times. So kind of gets rid of all the electronic crap, takes it old school. They charge us $93 to be able to solder on this whole regulator deal. So it's not super cheap. It is what it is. Let's get it bolted on. Let's see if it fixes all the issues. Literally, that took all of about 5 minutes. They make it so easy now that you know what you're doing. So just did that, got the battery hooked up. So again, like I was telling you guys, this is the only connection, the factory connector, the little 2-pin dude. This is no longer used. This used to go into here. So we'll just kind of tuck that out of the way. So now we can hop in. Let's try to see if this thing will start up. All right, the moment of truth. Let's see. Power on. Got a neutral, clutch in. Let's see if we can get some power. Little backfire action. So we are getting 14.2 volts from the alternator right now. So that's awesome. It's working. So check it out. So here we go. 14.2 volts. Working. What are we getting down here? 13.5. That's good. So before we on here, we'd see like 11.5. Maybe when the battery was fully charged, it'd be like 12.2 or something. So I've never seen it that high here. So that's really good. And of course, this is kind of right off the computer. So, that's actual battery voltage. This must have some losses, but awesome. So I'm hoping this cures the issue. Let's try to do a shut off. Let's see if we can get another restart without it clicking, because I do have another starter here. So if we start getting the clicking issue, boom, we're gonna pop this starter off and swap it out. No more playing games. All right, we got another successful start. All right, pretty cool. Let's shut her down. All right, so what I'll probably do here in the next, few minutes. I'm still kind of working on the Mustang in between doing this, but I'm going to probably take it for a ride, maybe a 15-20 minute ride. I'll come back to the house and then try to restart it after that, because that's usually been the issue is after driving it for a little bit, it just wears the battery down. It wasn't charging enough, right? And so then I'd start getting the click issue. So I'm going to try to do that.
So we are going to we're going to a car show. I'm super scared. Mom and Kim are in there. Holy crap! What did you do? Okay, we are leaving to go.
Hey, can you reach that mirror?
What?
Can you reach that mirror? See how it's bent down? No? Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't.
That's okay.
Okay, so he meant that thing. But we're going. Wait, why are you unbuckling?
I can't do it.
Why do you need it?
No,
Wait,
not really.
we can stop.
No, I think it's fine.
Okay, so he just unbuckled. We're gonna die. Oh my god, there's a car coming. We're gonna die. Shut your mouth. Okay, I'm gonna hold on, everybody. Super scared. I'm freaking gonna die. Okay, I hope this car doesn't break down.
So far, alternator's charging between 14.2 and 14.5, so that's great. This is still showing 13.6, so yeah, definitely much better.
Okay, I hope it doesn't break down, or something bad happens. I'm so scared. I don't want that to happen. So I think we're 5 minutes Okay, here's Cameron. Tell you who's here right now. Here's Cameron. Here's my dad. And here, my mom is in her Jeep.
All right, guys, we are leaving the car show. We had another successful startup, so I think that our alternator has solved our issues, and now we can finally get some miles on this bad boy. Woo woo! All right, so we just made it back, and we didn't have any issues, except we did lose power again. And the reason why is this switch also failed. And you can see it's kind of failed in this like half, pushed in position. So this one failed, then this one failed, and it's just mechanical failure. There's nothing wrong with like the electrical stuff. So now I have the power plugged into this guy. So I don't trust any of these crappy Amazon switches. I think maybe they're not rated for enough current or something. I don't know. So I'm going to go to the auto parts store tomorrow, pop this thing out, replace it with one that's rated for like 10 amps or whatever I can find. And hopefully it'll be a better quality switch, because this is the only thing right now causing us any issues. Otherwise the car is running great, and that's it. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Hopefully we can get some miles in this weekend.
When we broke down, I was super scared. I was like, no, this is my biggest fear going in the Deathkart life. I'm breaking down.
And today we broke down for like 10 seconds because I knew what the problem was. As soon as I saw this thing shut off while I was driving, I was like, all right, we're going to lose power in about 4 seconds. Sure enough, we did. And then I noticed, okay, this thing's stuck.
Then we tried that one and it worked.
Yeah, I just plugged it into here. But these are all 3 like push button switches. So I was like, if this one breaks, I got nothing left, because this is a momentary switch and this is a momentary switch. So we couldn't, so no more chances. Tomorrow I'll go to the parts store. We're going to get a new button, and then we're going to figure out eventually, I think, replacing this whole thing, because I'm just not a fan of it. And we're supposed to make some kind of cover. So we got to figure out something.
Look cool, like that.
Yeah, once it's covered, it'll look better. But anyway, there's some other options out there, like, ones that are made for kind of race cars that already have all the buttons, and all you got to do is kind of plug the wires in the back. That might be something better, and then we can kind of eliminate this whole kind of mess of wires. Maybe put in a connector.
It doesn't really look cool. Like, we could just like scoosh these in and just like make a base.
That's what we're gonna. Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's sign off here, right? That's it for gonna be it for tonight, guys.
Hope you subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and give us a huge thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.